So, what I want to talk about today was this idea of people unsubscribing to you. They unsubscribe from your newsletter. People unsubscribing from your email list. People unsubscribing from your newsletter. Hey, Eliza, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Um, so this idea of people unsubscribing to you, it kind of freaks people out a little bit, even if they don't say it. They see their number go down, especially like in a platform like Substack. They see their number going down, and it kind of freaks them out. Like, oh, did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong. Okay. And I say this, this was on my mind because I noticed that I had lost a couple subscribers since I started doing these daily live streams. And I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I want you to know that I think a lot of times people look at lead acquisition in the wrong way. I don't even know, I really don't even know if lead acquisition is the best way to describe, what is really being done. And I'm going to try to explain it as best as possible. But the thing about it is, in my viewpoint, it's not really like we call it lead acquisition, right? But it's not really like collecting baseball cards, okay? It's not like we're collecting stamps or something, because and I collected baseball cards and I collected comic books when I was a kid, okay? And you collected them, and what was the whole goal? To build your collection, right? And this idea of like your collection shrinking, or hey, I'm missing this comic book, or hey, what happened to my 1937 circa 1937 stamp series, or whatever. This idea that you're collecting something and it never goes down, it only gets bigger and bigger as you collect, is not a good way to look at list building. It's not a good way to look at lead acquisition. Like I said, I don't even think lead acquisition is a good word for it. I think that a better way to describe it is really, well, a better way to describe it is world building. And the person who, like, I called this building an ecosystem. Like, and I kind of like knew what I was doing for a while, right? But I have never seen anyone describe. Big Andy Durinsky in the house. What is up, Andy? I have never seen anyone describe this idea of ecosystem building, world building, as he would call it. I've never seen anyone describe it as good as this guy right here, Ben Settle. When he wrote this book, Biz World. Wrote this book, Biz World. And now the good news about this book is it's not very expensive. Biz World, that's a pretty cheap book. I can't remember what I paid for this. Ben Settle's got some expensive books, but this isn't one of them. You can get this on Amazon for like $20. Um, I've never seen a better, more accurate description of this idea that I'm talking about. This world building idea. It's not like I'm really acquiring leads. It's more like I'm building this ecosystem that kind of attracts the right people. And the other thing that it's going to do in attracting the right people is it's going to repel the wrong people. It's almost like you're building this amusement park, and in this amusement park, there's attractions, and these attractions are going to attract a certain kind of person, right? And for everyone else, they're not going to find it appealing. They're not going to find those attractions appealing at all, right? And that's kind of how I see list building. It's not really about collecting. It's about building this kind of like ecosystem that attracts the right people. And I've been told a few times, I can't remember where I heard this, but the difference between marketing and selling, right? Marketing or selling is going door to door. Like you're going door to door to sell candy bars or something. You're going door to door to ask people if they'd like to buy this thing, right? But marketing is putting your messages out there and getting people to come to you. You don't have to go door to door. You get those people to come to your door, right? That's marketing, right? So when you think about this idea of building a world, like what Settle talks about in this book, building a world. When you think about that concept of building a world, that's marketing, right? You're building this world that attracts a certain kind of person. Now, as you build that world, to get back to our main topic, I titled this live stream, Happy to See You Go. Happy to see you go, right? And that's the attitude you should all adopt when someone unsubscribes from your list or when someone goes away from what you're doing. You should be very happy about that, right? You don't want people in your ecosystem that don't care about what you're doing. You want people in your ecosystem that actually care about what you're doing, okay? Other people can go away. They can go on, they can go away. It doesn't matter. Now, if you're like kind of polarizing, like Settle over there, he's a pretty polarizing guy. He'll attract people who like him and don't like him. Some people will just stay in his world just to see how much they can hate him more, you know? I don't think it's like that for me necessarily. I don't think it's like that for me. I've had a few people get mad at me about stuff, but I think that most people I've pulled into my ecosystem, like what I do. The fact of the matter is no one's ever going to like everything you do. And the other fact of the matter is you have to be a little bit polarizing, especially in 2026. I mean, you have to find ways to stand out. You're not going to get by on this AI gobbledygook, where it's just kind of like repeating the known quantities. Okay. These known quantities, they're not going to move the needle. You know what I mean? They just aren't going to move the needle. So you do have to find a way to kind of stand out. You have to find a way to be your own person, right? And that is true. But as far as like, list building and as far as like people leaving your list, right? It's not something that you should discourage you because it's not really like collecting baseball cards, right? It's more like building this amusement park that it's going to have some cool things in it, but it's not going to be for everybody. Like, my grandma used to take us to Kings Island when we were kids, okay? And my grandpa, he hated amusement parks. He never went. He was always like, okay, honey, take them and have fun, right? My grandpa was not an amusement park guy. There was nothing in that amusement park that he was going to be into. So he didn't go. So my grandma, she would like gather up the whole family. And that's my grandma's 91st birthday tomorrow. Can you believe that? 91. She's going to be 91 years old tomorrow. It's crazy. But yeah, she would gather up the whole family, man. She'd take all us grandkids to the amusement park. And she loved it. She loved it. So to kind of translate that back to list building, as you build your lists, now look, this is the way I see it, okay? I'm not trying to like sun you out there. Do it however you want to do it. See it however you want to see it. I'm just telling you how I see it, because that has created a much more like healthy way to approach my list. Now look, I have people on my list who've been on my list for over a decade, okay? I started online business back in 2011, okay? I'm an old dog. I've been here for a while. Not as long as some. Like my friend Marlon Sanders, he's been marketing since the 90s, okay? That dude, I tell you what, that dude, he's probably forgotten more about marketing than most of us will ever know. So make sure you follow. You can find Marlon Sanders on Facebook, by the way. He's pretty active on Facebook, but he's one of the legends of the game. Worth your time to follow him. But I lost my train of thought, man. What was I even talking about? List building. List building. I've been list building for a while, over a decade now. And, to me, everybody starts out like this, right? You got to build a list. Everybody starts out like this. You got to build a big list. So you start thinking you got to build a list, and you start thinking you got to build a big list. And what do? You keep on trying to build it. And it's very, very easy to look at it like you're collecting baseball cards or you're collecting stamps or, you're collecting rocks or whatever, But the thing is, you're not collecting anything. You're not collecting anything. You have a list of people. That's cool. You can download that list and take it to another, email service provider if you like. You can move it around with you somewhat. But you got to remember, just because you have a list of names, man, those are real people. They have their own lives going on. You have like kind of like collected a group of people that have an interest. You can somewhat keep them together if you email them regularly. You can keep them engaged in what you're doing. But you have to remember, all these kinds of people are going to be represented on your list, right? People who are just learning about you and they're kind of like hot into what you're doing right now. People who have just came on for a quick minute to see what you have and they're going to be gone pretty soon. And then you got like lifers, right? And these people resonate with what you're doing and they just been on your list for years, right? I've had people on my list for years. I still have people on my list that have been on there since my first membership club. And that was like way back in like 2012. And they're still here. They're still here. So those are the lifers, man. Those are the people that just hang out, man. They like your amusement park. They like the world that you have built, right? And and that's really cool, but that's not everybody. Okay. And that's the point of what I'm trying to make today. Okay. That's not everybody. All right. So as you're like on Substack and you're building your newsletter, you're like, oh man, it's growing. It's growing. If I could just get to 100 subscribers. Oh, and then you get to 100 subscribers and you're like, oh man, if I could just get to 200 subscribers. And then maybe all of a sudden you get something popping off for you and you get up to 500 subscribers and things are going good. And man, you got a paid newsletter and people are starting to join your paid newsletter. You feel like you're building something, right? You are building something, all right? And you should be proud of yourself, but you're not building like a collection, okay? Those people are going to come and those people are going to go. There's going to be a percentage of them that stay for a really long time, but the other ones are going to fluctuate in and out at various percentages, you know? And the thing about it is what you're building is like an amusement park. You're not building a list. You're building a world. You're building a world that some people really resonate with and they want to be in your world, and some people don't and they're going to leave. So don't be mad. Don't get panicky when people leave. Keep on doing what you do, okay? Because the more you market your ecosystem, the more you market your world, the more you're going to attract the right people, and the right people are going to be knocking on your door to get into your world, okay? The main thing is you have entry points. You have entry points into your world, and you're going to have the right people come and knocking on your door, and they're not all going to be the right people. You're going to have fluctuation. People are going to come, people are going to go, and slowly it's going to build, but it's not really like, building a stamp collection, okay? It's more like building, like I said, like an amusement park, and you build it bigger and bigger and bigger, and pretty soon you got this big, giant, empire of an amusement park, And even when you have the biggest amusement park in the world, guess what? You're still going to have people coming and people going because it's not going to be for everybody. And you're also going to have people who are on your list for a really long time. And then like they kind of just get like fatigued of your brand of whatever you do, and they're going to leave for a while. And then what happens is maybe a year or two later, they're going to come back. I've been here for 15 years, man. Okay. I know I've had people leave my world for like 4 or 5 years and then circle back around to me, and like you holding down the fort and still doing the same thing you were doing 5 or 6 years ago, that earns you a massive amount of respect with those people. Okay. And that's not something you can get like immediately. That's something you have to earn through doing the same business, doing the same stuff and being consistent year after year after year after year, but you can earn that respect. And yeah, so like I just wanted to jump on here because I noticed like my subscriber count had went down a couple when I started doing these live streams, like I said. And I thought, you know what? I bet that freaks some people out, especially people who are getting on Substack and they're trying to build something and they're looking at those subscribers and they look at that like a way to gauge, their success, but it's not really a way to gauge your success. I mean, the thing is, ultimately you're trying to make money. You started a Substack. No, maybe you didn't. Maybe you started a Substack just for like, hey, I just want to talk, man. I'm just journaling. I don't know anybody who publicly, this is another thing. This is funny. I'm standing to get into a rant right now and get off topic. That's okay. Whatever. It's a live stream. It's going to go whichever way it goes. Okay. Some of these people, man, they get on Substack and they're like, man, I don't even care about growth, man. I'm just getting on here to share my opinions I just want to talk. I just want to write. I don't even care if anyone reads it. And also, I want to hear from the people who only have 5 subscribers. Oh man, that gets me laughing. That gets me laughing when I see someone with like 10,000 subscribers on Substack saying, I want to hear from the people with 10 subscribers. That's who I want to hear from. It's just funny, man. There's so much posturing going on this platform. It's like ridiculous. But at the same time, it's kind of cool too, because the way Substack's API is, you can't really like do a lot of scheduling connected directly to Substack. So you know that even if people are using AI to schedule their posts and stuff like that, they still have to interact with this platform. So there's probably a lot of people still on Substack. It's not just a bunch of bots. Bots can't just infiltrate Substack because of the way they do their API, you know? So that's pretty cool. I think that Substack and Reddit are my two favorite places right now when it comes to like big internet platforms. And I know Substack's not really that big, but it's still pretty good. I mean, it's picking up steam. I mean, listen, when I first started dealing with Substack, it was like 2020, okay? And back in 2020, Substack had about 11 million visitors a month. That's how big it was. It wasn't that big, but 11 million visitors a month, and it was on the upswing, big time upswing. And I made a course about it. It was called Fat Stacks back then. And I kind of turned people on to Substack. But back then, nobody was really talking about it in the online business space that much. In my circles, at least, I was running in the Warrior Plus circles, and nobody's talking about Substack. So it was a nice secret to talk about. But 11 million visitors a month back then, and it was really spiking. It was like on the upswing. I was like, this is a good opportunity, you know, but it wasn't the opportunity that it is now, because now they got the notes element of Substack. It really allows you to grow organically right there on Substack, which is really cool. It's really cool. And I think Substack's doing like 120 million visitors a month. But back then, to 2020, 2021, 2022, it was like Medium was like doing 100, 120, 130, 140 million visitors a month. And that was the opportunity back then. That was the big kind of like, wow, this place is good. This is great. It was really easy to grow on Medium and everything. But now you look at it now, just like a short 5 or 6 years later, and like the tables have turned, because you look at like Medium traffic now is like 60, 70 million visitors a month. It's declined big time. You look at Substack, it's increased exponentially. It's crazy how it's grown in the last 5 or 6 years. So that's really interesting the way that goes. I mean, these platforms shift, they change, they turn around, they go up, they go down. But I think I am getting off topic. I could talk all day about this stuff, and we'll get off on some crazy random topic. But when it comes to email, like to me, and when it comes to list building, especially, I don't really think you should treat it like collecting baseball cards. I mean, you're building this thing, you're building this ecosystem, and you're trying to pull the right people into the ecosystem. Again, I've never heard anyone explain this as well as Ben Settle did in this Bizworld book. This is a fantastic book. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I'm not, that's not something I'm doing. I love the book. All right. I think it's it's one of his favorite ones. It's one of my favorite ones that he's written. Now, I have a couple of his high priced books as well. They're really good. But not everybody. Some people are balling on a budget. They can't afford to spend $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 on a book. Not everybody is there. All right, I get it. But that book right there is not expensive. It's only like $20 on Amazon, and it's really good. And I've never seen the idea of building a world explained so well as it is in that book. And look, let me prepare you. If you're going to run off, you're hearing this, you're going to run off to Amazon and buy this book. This is like mostly a series of interviews, okay? It's mostly him being interviewed by people about this concept of world building. And I find it to be a fascinating book. There's a lot of points that's repeated in there, which I think is fine. Repeated consumption creates a deeper level of understanding. But again, just to kind of like put a cap on this, when you think about list building and you're out there right now and you're trying to build your Substack and you're trying to grow your Substack, I would not look at it quite so linearly as just like my subscriber count's going up. Because the thing is, as you're building this kind of ecosystem that you're building, what your business is, what your newsletter is, what it's all about, what are the core fundamentals of it? What are the pillars of your ecosystem. Like if you think about Epic Conversions, my business, Epic Conversions, been around since 2016. Okay. Epic Conversions has three core pillars, right? And these are the three things I talk about the most. What are they? They are list building and email marketing. All right, that's one pillar. They are, prolific, impactful content creation. Prolific, impactful content creation. That's the second pillar. And then the third pillar is continuity, right? And the reason I teach about those things is because I think they are the most important things to running a successful online business. That's what I believe is the most important things, and that's what I talk about. But this idea of pillars and this idea of foundations, right? If you have a newsletter out there, if you're trying to grow your newsletter, you are probably either have some kind of foundational idea behind your newsletter, or you want to create a foundational idea behind your newsletter that you haven't quite worked out yet, but you're trying to get there, right? And that's how a lot of businesses are. Don't kid yourself. A lot of people start newsletters and they're not quite sure what the hell they're going to be yet, right? I remember when I first started, I got an audio newsletter, right? I got this audio newsletter. It's called Voicemail. And when I first started it, I started it at the very beginning of 2025. And I didn't know exactly what the hell it was going to be. I knew it was going to be like, I knew I loved audio training, and I knew I loved podcasts, but I knew this thing that I was building, it was going to be like part podcast and part audio training, but something different. So I called it an audio newsletter, right? And it's voicemail, and it's cool. But when I first started, I didn't know what the hell it was actually going to be. I was like, what is this going to be? What the hell's an audio newsletter? And I was trying to figure it out, and it took me a little while to kind of, figure out, what the hell this is, And the funny thing is, as I'm starting 2026, this is volume 2 of Voicemail I'm in now. 2025 was volume 1, and that was the whole thing. I did 50 issues of Voicemail in 2025. Now I'm starting into volume 2, 2026. It's a weekly publication. I publish it weekly. So as I move into it, it's funny because I have changed it since 2025. So I mean, you can make the argument I'm still trying to figure out what the hell it is, but really I do know what it is. I know exactly what it is, that I'm doing with Voicemail. Like with Voicemail, I want to approach like online business like through the lens of like average everyday like ideas, like movies and books and radio and like the things I like in life, right? And I want to take some of those things in life and I want to pull lessons out of them and apply them to online business and marketing and stuff. And I want to apply them and tell stories about things that have happened to me over the last 15 years of doing this stuff. And I want to talk about the successes and the failures and everything. And it all gets thrown in there into like this crazy blender that I call Voicemail, right? It's cool. It's cool. It's a fun, it's audio newsletter, but I figured out what the hell it was. So like if you're out there right now and you're doing a newsletter on Substack and you're not quite sure what the hell it is and you're still trying to figure it out, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. A lot of times to figure out what the hell it is, all it takes is for you to keep on publishing and to be thinking about what the hell is this supposed to be, man? What am I doing? As long as you're asking that question, like subconsciously, your mind's going to keep working on it and you're going to work it out. You're going to figure out what it is. But man, Rome wasn't built in the day, okay? Rome wasn't built in a day. Sometimes these things take a little time to figure out, especially good things, things that are really good. Sometimes it takes time to work them out. And I don't think you should just like sit on your laurels and not publish or not do anything while you're trying to figure out what something is. It doesn't have to be perfect when you start. And I'm not trying to, give you cliche advice or whatever. But anyways, the point is, you got this foundational thing, right? And you're building it. It's like this amusement park. It's this foundational kind of world that you're building. And that is what you're building. Okay. It's not the list. Yes, the list is the core, right? My email list is the core of my business. But you have to understand, like the number of people on my list, that's like a little bit subjective. You know what I mean? Because I could have 3,000 people on my list that are really strong buyers, and I can make a lot of money with that list. And then I could have like 100,000 people on my list and like they barely know me and they hardly like 80% of them don't even open my emails. So it's not strong, I mean, it's not strong. So although like 80%, I mean, if 20% of a 100,000 person list is opening your emails, that's still pretty damn good. I'll be honest with you. That's pretty, if you got 100,000 people on your list and 20% of them opening, I think you're doing good. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I got about 3,000 people on my email list currently. That's not counting my Substack list. But I got about 3,000 on my email list currently, my main list, and it's probably about a 20% open rate. So I think that like 20% is pretty good. And I think the bigger your list gets, it kind of goes down, right? That's generally how it has been for me. Because my list has been as big as like I think 8,000 has been the biggest it's been, and now it's down to about 3,000. The big reason I think my list has dwindled so much is because a few years ago I got out of launching, and I used to do a lot of like affiliate recruitment. I've recruited a lot of affiliates in my day, but I used to do a lot of affiliate recruitment, and then I really got tired of doing it, and I kind of just like really was like, dude, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I just, you know what? I'm just going to launch products to my own list. So for the last, probably since 2023, I've really only been putting products out to my own list. And I've just been doing kind of like organic list building. I haven't really been recruiting affiliates and stuff. So list building's pretty slow when you do organic list building, unless you start hitting on some viral content on YouTube or something, you start like, really, I mean, it can go faster. I guess it's a perfect storm, right? Because I have, I don't know what it is, man. Like I started hating a lot of things all at once, like I started really, it was weird. It was like a spiral. It's like, I started really hating I started really hating recruiting affiliates back in 2023, 2022, 23. I really started hating it. And then, I kind of just got out of it. I moved away from it. And then like maybe a year or two before that, I had kind of a bad experience with this interview and I was like, dude, this sucks. I don't want to do interviews anymore. Right. And as far as like people interviewing me, right, I didn't want to do it anymore. And then that kind of like filtered over to me not wanting to interview anybody anymore. So I didn't want to do interviews anymore. I didn't want to have anybody interview me anymore. And I stopped doing affiliate recruitment and like all these aspects, like pretty much like every aspect of my business that I didn't like, I just stopped doing it. I stopped doing it. And, I knew that things were going to happen, that probably were not great. And, but it was good. It was worth it. It was worth it for me because I figured out that like, yeah, I can work my business without recruiting affiliates. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with recruiting affiliates. I think there's a good way to recruit affiliates for your business and a bad way. You got to be careful. Here's what I tell you about affiliates. So we're getting way, way off topic here, but here's what I tell you about affiliates, man. When you pull an affiliate, right? When you have an affiliate promote your stuff, that person is representing you. Okay. They are advertising your product. It's a good thing, but you have to trust that they're not going to misrepresent you, right? So like if I sell a product that is going to teach people like how to like get traffic from some website or something, right? That's what my product teaches them. Well, I got like 10 affiliates out there and all these affiliates are lying to people telling them that this product is going to teach them how to make $1 million, right? That's not good. Well, the problem is those affiliates saying those things about you, it's like you have some accountability for that. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not trying to get into legal stuff, but I have like had problems with affiliates in the past. And, you have accountability for some of the things affiliates say about you. So translation is you got to be careful what affiliates you recruit. I'm telling you, man, there was a time in my career where anybody who wanted to promote my stuff, they could promote my stuff, man. I would pull as many I talk about collecting emails like baseball cards. I was collecting affiliates like baseball cards, okay? If we take it back to like 2016, 2017, 2018, I was collecting affiliates like baseball cards, okay? Anybody who wanted to affiliate could get in. But I was launching and promoting on Warrior Plus, which is a platform that if you know anything about Warrior Plus, man, it really incentivizes this kind of competition among the product vendors and among the affiliates, man. There's affiliate leaderboards, there's products of the day. You have like top revenue generating products of the day on Warrior Plus. You can see so there's like this inherent kind of competition, and entrepreneurs are kind of competitive by nature. So it kind of like plays into the competitive nature of entrepreneurs. Um, but what I learned, just recruiting all those affiliates and just letting anybody promote my stuff that wanted to, was that, man, there's a lot of like shady practices out there. You think like, oh, what's the harm in giving people a chance? What's the harm in giving people a chance? There's nothing wrong with giving a newbie affiliate a chance, okay? But until like you got some cat who like runs off to like the black web or the dark web or whatever it's called. Somebody runs off to the black web, they run off to the dark web, and what do? They buy like a gang of like credit card numbers, like illegally, totally illegal. And then what do? They sign up as an affiliate, right? And then what happens is they take those credit card numbers and they create a bunch of they buy a bunch of your products, like all the products in your funnel, right? And like it looks like it's through different people, different credit cards, but really it's like the one person and they got all those credit card numbers, okay? And it's all a big scam. And what happens is I don't know if it's still like this on Warrior Plus, but like those affiliates, like they would get paid out within 30 days. So like you, as an vendor, you might be thinking, oh man, I'm killing it, dude. Man, I'm so glad I did all that affiliate recruitment. I'm getting tons of sales, and then all of a sudden, about 2 months later, when those people realize that their credit card numbers have been stolen, now all of a sudden you're getting like chargeback, 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 and you're like, what the hell's going on around here? And it could really mess you up. That's just one example. I could tell you tons of stories about affiliate shadesters and affiliate scams. So I'm not going to do that. This isn't really about that. I've really gone off the rails here, but that's okay. We're doing a live stream. It's not, this is laid back stuff here. All I'll say is the best thing you can do. I'm not telling you not to do affiliate. I'm not telling you not to recruit affiliates. Affiliates a great way to build your list. If you can find affiliates who already have an audience, affiliates who already have an email list, that's a good way for you to build a list with real people. It really is. It's a good way to do it. It's referral traffic. It's a good way to build. But you have to be careful, man. You have to be careful. You can't just let anybody promote your stuff. And I hate to say that. I'm not trying to sound elitist. You have to be careful because there's a lot of things that could go wrong when you start letting the wrong people promote your stuff. So you have to kind of put restrictions in place when you're going to do. I should do like a course about this or something. Maybe we'll do a live stream about this or something. But I don't know. Some of this stuff might be a little bit too, I don't know what you call it, high level. I don't know. Some of this stuff might be too like specific for people on Substack. Maybe people on Substack don't really care about this stuff. I don't know. One thing that I know that does apply to you on Substack here is this concept of list building and this concept of building your newsletter subscribership. And again, I would just tell you, look at it like you're building a world, you're building an empire, and people are going to come and people are going to go. You're looking for the right people. You're looking for the lifers, and that's going to include like fluctuation. And so the list is going to go up, it's going to go down, and slowly you're going to get the lifers. And that's the real goal, is to build the lifers, the people who are just, they're with you, man. They're with you. They've been on your list for years. They're with you. And ideally, these are the people who are going to buy your stuff. So when you release something, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it because, they're in it. They like your amusement park, man. They like the stuff that you do. They're into it. It's their thing, and it's funny because I always look at it like nobody stays forever. Like nobody stays forever. I've ran a lot of membership clubs over the years. And with my membership clubs, I always had the motto that, hey, nobody stays forever. People are going to come, people are going to go. Nobody stays forever. We try to decrease churn rate. We try to increase retention rate with the membership clubs. If I can get people to stay, 9-10 months, I feel like that's a good win. But nobody stays forever. That's kind of how I always look at it. But When it comes to an email list, I don't know, people will stay for a long time, especially if it's just a free email list. People will stay for a long time if they like what you do. When it comes to membership clubs, when it comes to low ticket membership clubs, you'd be surprised how long people will stay in low ticket membership clubs. And that translates to paid newsletters as well. And I talk about that because I know a lot of people watching this are on Substack. You guys probably doing paid newsletters. You want to do paid newsletters. Well, look, if you got like an $8 a month paid newsletter, I mean, people will stay in there for a long time. Okay. People will stay in there for a long time. But also, if you think about the idea that you're trying to get to, like, let's just say as an average goal, let's say you're trying to get to 10K a month. I mean, you really got to think about that. You got an $8 a month newsletter. You're trying to get to 10K a month. Okay. There's 100 million people hitting Substack a month. Okay. How many of those people are in your niche? You could break that down into percentages. But if you break it down into percentages and then you say, okay, well, this is how many people I need to sign up for a paid newsletter for me to get to 10K a month. At $8 a month, that's a lot of people. Okay. We're not going to do math here on the live stream, but that's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of people. So you got to find the spot that makes more sense. If your goal is 10K a month, then maybe it's a 2-tier paid newsletter. Or maybe it's just not, maybe it's more like a $28 a month newsletter. So you only need what is that? 240 people at $28 a month, 240, 250 people. If you think about, transactional fees from Substack and Stripe and stuff, you're looking at like what, 250 people to get to your 10K a month. I mean, 250 paid subscribers at $28 a month. Hey, look, that takes a minute too. If you're trying to build an email list. You're trying to build like lifers, as I call it. And then, you think, well, there's quicker ways, right? Yeah, of course there's quicker ways. One quicker way is to celebrity by association, right? So if you can start interviewing people that have bigger audiences than you, and you can start getting known from some of your interviews, if you can get to a place where people are interviewing you, when you start interviewing this kind of like this, and I noticed this is a kind of a culture that's happening on Substack right now, this interview culture. Everyone's interviewing everybody. They're trying to kind of share audiences and introduce new people to their audience. It's really good, man. And I think that's especially good because that's real people, right? That's real people trying to do real things. Even though some of them are seduced by the AI monster, and you can see in their notes, they're doing a lot of AI notes and stuff, but you're not AI in these interviews, right? These interviews are being done by real people trying to reach out and connect to other real people and grow in a kind of human way. And I like that. I like that about Substack. That's why I'm doing so much here right now. And Reddit. I like Reddit, man. I'm really into Reddit. I think it's one of the last bastions of human activity on the internet, So yeah. But anyways, look, man, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm just rambling on. I just wanted to jump on here and tell you, try not to look at your list building like it's a numbers game, like you're collecting baseball cards. That's not really what it is, man. Not in my view anyway. In my view, you're building a world. And that world, as you build it, people are going to come and people are going to go. You just got to stay true to what you're doing and keep on building. And the real ones are going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to be in your world and they're going to like it in there. Right. And again, I'll just plug this one last time. One of my favorite, marketers, and this is one of the really good books by that guy, Biz World. That's a nice gateway book for him too, I think, because he most of his stuff is pretty expensive, but that one's not too expensive. And yeah, so I don't think you can go wrong following someone like that. But anyways, I guess that's all I got. I'm Cam from epicconversions.com. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe to me here on Substack. I've been doing these live streams about every day. I don't know if I'm going to keep on doing them every day. I might. I don't know. If I have something to say, I'll do one. And I feel I love I love business. I love online business and I love, marketing and stuff. So I do have a lot to say about it, so I probably will have something to say every day. So I don't know. We'll see. So if you're into that everyday, live stream like this, for a little while, yeah, subscribe to me and see how it goes. I will say this, I'm at infrastructure 0 right now. So that means I don't have anything to sell right now on the market. Nothing to sell on the market. This is the first time since I launched listen, this is the first time since I launched Epic Conversions in 2016 that I have not had anything on the market to sell. I literally am not trying to sell you anything because I don't have anything to sell right now. I'm at infrastructure 0. Um, but I will have something to sell pretty soon. I'm gonna launch Epic Conversions monthly here. Probably another, I don't know, probably within the week I'll get it out. Um, it's not gonna be for everybody, okay? It's gonna be like $100 a month. So, if you're balling on a budget, this probably isn't gonna be for you. But it's gonna be for certain people who are making money with business, but they're trying to make more money. They're trying to like double their income. Those people it can be good for, it can help. So, but that's not really what I'm talking about in this live stream. I'm just rambling here. Yeah, subscribe to me if you like this live stream. I'll probably do some more of them. I'm probably gonna be back tomorrow to do another one. And I don't know, maybe I'll take the weekends off and I'll just do them on the weekdays or something. I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm enjoying hanging out with Gus and Substack right now, and yeah, I guess that's it. That's all I got, man. You guys have an amazing day. Be safe out there. Keep her between the ditches. Don't do anything stupid. I'll see you guys for another one tomorrow. Peace now.